What a night. What a night of absolute football. Celtic absolutely romped that game tonight. Absolutely no one expected Celtic to score 5, and no one expected Celtic to be sitting second in the Champions League at the end of play this evening. Absolutely fantastic evening of football in Glasgow tonight. What can you say? Although Kyogo was off the boil, let's be honest, Kyogo was off the boil, but plenty of other players weren't. Kyogo, his chances were off the boil, but as a player, Kyogo's fantastic. If he could just finish, if he was a bit more clinical, what a player would have on our hands. And the valuation of Kyogo would be absolutely through the roof. Absolutely through the roof. Now let's look at the Champions League table as it stands, because Celtic are top, the second top of the Champions League table as it stands this evening. Let's look at the table. I did post it in the community tab. Now it's Bayern, and FC Bayern Munich do sit top of the Champions League as it stands. Second position is Celtic. Celtic are sitting second in the Champions League. Then there's Aston Villa are third. Then there's Dortmund are third. Then Sparta, Prague, and then there's Liverpool. And then Juventus and Real Madrid. Sitting in 8th position. Sporting Lisbon, PSG, Inter Milan, Manchester City, Bologna, Shakhtar Donetsk, Arsenal are sitting 15th in the league as it stands just now. They play tomorrow night against the team that we play. And then there's Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Bayer Leverkusen, Benfica. They all have to get bigger score lines than Celtic tomorrow evening to knock Celtic off of second spot in the Champions League. You heard it. You got it right. Celtic are second in the Champions League. All those teams will need to score win by more than 4 goals tomorrow in the Champions League to knock Celtic off second place. What is the chances of big scorelines tomorrow evening? There was Manchester City played tonight. Manchester City could not score. Celtic are sitting second. I'm going to keep on saying it. Celtic are sitting second in the Champions League. A Champions League that has 36 teams in it. And this evening, yes, I did say dare to dream. I was overly excited before the game. I thought we had a fantastic chance. I said we needed to score 3 goals. I said 2-1 last night. But when I thought about it today and when I looked at the team, I said Celtic need to score 3 goals to be in that top 16, to be up and around there. The fact that Celtic are second in the Champions League after game day 1 is fantastic, and everyone is absolutely buzzing. Anyway, let's jump into the comment section. Make sure that you share this video. Make sure that you give it a thumbs up, but share it with all your Celtic friends to get them onto the live also, and get them talking about the fact that Celtic are second in the Champions League. We're sitting second in the table. And there's been many other teams that have played. Liverpool played last night. They won 3-1. Liverpool won 3-1 last night. Juventus, they're sitting on a goal difference of 2. Real Madrid, the magnificent Real Madrid, who hammered Celtic, let's be said, a couple of years ago. They're sitting with a goal difference of +2. But Celtic FC from Scotland, yes, the one and only mighty Glasgow Celtic, who won the Champions League back when it was in its old form in 1967, are sitting with a goal difference of +4. Yes, a goal difference of +4, which puts us second in the table. I crossed myself and I blessed myself and said I dare to dream. I wanted the stars to shine for Celtic tonight, and they did that. They did it in style. The players were absolutely fantastic to a man. Ida coming on and slotting home that goal was absolutely brilliant. Nico Kuhn, where do you start with Nico Kuhn? What an absolute fantastic fantastic winger he is turning out to be. Nico Kuhn is an absolutely amazing player. He takes on 3 players. He comes for the just between the midfield and this 18-yard box, takes on 3 players, gets to the wing and just bang across the front. Fantastic goal. Dyson Maeda with that header. Kyogo makes a run forward. Dyson comes into the space in the box and smashes right into the back of the net. What an absolute team. I felt sorry for Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor taking that shot, and you're thinking it was just about to go in, but the keeper just gets it round the post. Oh my God, I'm so happy for so many players. Trusty gets a game for Celtic. Adam Eder scores for his first goal for Celtic as a full-time player, and his first goal since that goal in the Scottish Cup final. But let's be honest. Kyogo had an off night in front of goal. Kyogo did a lot of good things in the game. Let's not knock him, and let's not knock Kyogo, but he had an off night in front of goal. If we had put those chances away, we could have been sitting top of the Champions League table tonight, and that would have been absolutely immense. Although, let's be perfectly honest, the team that are sitting, I've got a goal difference of 7. They have a goal difference of 7. Could Celtic have scored 7 goals in that game? Of course they could have. Kyogo could have had 7 on his own nearly. I think Kyogo had 7 touches of the ball in the first half, and 2 of them were shots on goal. But it is what it is. Let's calm down and be a bit more realistic. Let's enjoy it whilst we can. Make sure you screenshot this. Make sure you keep it forever. Celtic, because you think about it. If Rafe Rovers can put up a sign when they're beating the mighty Bayern 1-0 back in the day, and Celtic can definitely put this up in lights. Celtic are second in the Champions League. Can Celtic go through to the next stages of the Champions League? There's a lot of football to be played, but what we've done tonight is put ourselves in a fantastic position. An absolutely fantastic position. Anyway, let's jump. Let's have a love at this tonight. I'm going to try and jump into the comments to see who is all on board, because that's the way we do it here. Stephen Johnson was first up. Wilson Q was first up, having a party in the Champions League. Well, we're definitely having a party. Daniel McLaughlin is up. Robert Davey, Paradise Found. Michael Ross, Thomas Burns, Dave Hislop, DJ Singy, Gemma, Michael Ross, Kieran, Nicola is in the house. Hill Baz should have been 7 or 8. It should have. We'll talk about that in a minute. Ian's in, Conan's in from Belfast. Stuart Ramsey's in, Roseanne is in, Kieran's in, Michael Ross, Alistair, Jim F, the Shady One 2005 is in. I would love to see Adam Eder playing more. So would I, because I think we'll talk about that in a minute. We need to say hi to everyone first. Zach Donnelly's in, Paul McEwen's in, Stephen Johnson, Gemma, Parkhead 67's in, James Daly is in, Paul's in, Liz Donnelly, what a result, Evening Baz, exactly, Chris McNally, just home from the game. We were amazing. I've got to say, the fans were amazing, the Green Brigade were amazing, everything just went to plan as I had hoped tonight. Gerard's in, David's in, Michelle Shaw is in, Paul McKeegan's in. What a performance and what a win from the boys. Mr. Quinn's in. Hail, hail, Stephen. We will never let her die. Where's the Sevco in the table? Sevco aren't in the table. Paul Baird says, told you not to worry about Scales tonight. Baz, you did that, and Scales pops up with that first goal. What a header. What a header that was for Scales. And Scales was just everyone. You cannot fault any player tonight. You cannot fault any player. You could nitpick at certain things, and I'm sure that the manager and the backroom staff will nitpick at certain things by certain players at points in the game, and that's just been really pernickety. That's been really pernickety and wanting us to be the best version of what we are. We're nearly there. I think, as a Celtic team. If we can play like this through the rest of the Champions League, Brendan Rodgers has got us, and Brendan Rodgers said himself, he's never been more confident going into the Champions League, and now we know why. He sees this on the training pitch at Lennoxtown day in, day out, and he knows that this group of players, Callum McGregor said it, this group of players has grown together. We can keep this group of players together, the majority of them, for another year or two. And I tell you one thing, Champions League, you having a laugh? They might not be saying that in 2 years' time. Celtic could be a force to fucking go with. Anyway, it all comes down to, can we qualify from this? I think we can. But let's jump back into the comments. Grant is in Glasgow's green and white. Not only Glasgow's green and white, the whole of Scotland's green and white. Good job, Brendan. Didn't listen to you and get rid of and replace Scales. I never said to get rid of Scales. Go back to the videos. I never said to get rid of Scales. Not once have I said get rid of Scales. Never. So you're wrong with that one, Brian McCartney. Never have I said replace Scales. Never. So there you go. I doubted. I said he's got moments in the game. He always has moments in the game. But who did he replace Scales with? And it was good to see that Trusty got onto the pitch tonight, but I've never said replace Scales. So there, you take that one back. Dave Hislop's in the house. Hail to Stephen Johnson. Jacqueline's in the house. What a night, what an atmosphere, electric. What a time to be alive. Oh, my glorious Celtic family. I am buzzing, dream, believe, and Brendan, we trust. Shay Bryan's in the house. Pubcat is in the house. Nicola McCaffrey, we've done that. I'm going to jump right through. I've apologised. Carly's in the house. Lanky is back in the house. How are you, Lanky, this evening? What a game that was. James is in, Lanky, and I'm going to jump through the comments. There's hundreds of comments coming in so far. Casper, what about Casper Schmeichel? Celtic fast passing, joy to watch, says John. And I thought the first 5 minutes, the Celtic had to control the match. They had to sort of just take the heat out of the game. It was a bit side-to-side passing, but it was controlled. It was all about controlling the game and controlling the narrative. And that's what they did do tonight. John McCallum called 5-1 and he got it right. 5 years, a lot of lols. Excellent team performance, particularly pleased for Engels and Scales. Scales was fantastic tonight. That header, he took that header. That's something that they'd worked on the training pitch. There was a lot of stuff that you've seen tonight that Brendan's been working on the training pitch, and it came to fruition. Hats off to Brendan Rodgers for getting the team to perform the way that he wants, and that's why Brendan out. Short bits is Brendan out. Oh my goodness. Arne Schwartz Engels crushed it. Arne Engels is the player that I wanted to see play alongside Paulo Bernardo. When Paulo Bernardo come on, what a midfield pairing they are. I tell you one thing, Rio Hatate, the only thing that I will say is Rio Hatate has got two fantastic players looking right over his shoulder saying, Rio, if you don't perform at the highest level, we've got a pairing in the midfield called Paulo Bernardo and Arne Engels, and oh my God, what a pairing they are. They are absolutely on fire. Absolutely on fire. Skills got man of the match. John says, thanks, Baz. John, you on holiday? Great performance for opposition. But regardless, we've struggled against similar in the past, says my brother. Ruthless and played proper football in the Champions League level. We did, bro. We played absolutely. James, we've been to a lot of football together over the years, and a lot of Champions Leagues night. And even when the Barcelona game, we were nowhere near as good as that. We've been to a lot of Champions League football in the past, and tonight it would have been a fucking amazing night to have been there. It was absolutely I've never seen Celtic so confident in the Champions League. The two Irish boys start and finish the goals. Yep, they did that. Vlad was truly he was that. John, yes, John's still in Bulgaria. Lorna saying hi to Uncle Stuart. Your ma says outstanding and atmosphere tonight. The atmosphere was absolutely brilliant. When the stadium started doing "Come on, you boys in green" in the first half, I thought, oh my God, man, it is back to what it was years ago. Was Cameron Carter-Vickers shaky tonight? I don't think so. I think was he shaky tonight? Spit it out, Baz. Spit what out, Carly. Shut it. That's what. Stephen Johnson says hi to Carly. Grant Sloan says, I wonder how Stevie is hurting. Oops, feeling. Talking about Stevie, the current bun. Anyway, What an absolutely amazing night of football. There was one or two predicted 5-1. I never thought we would get 5. I definitely thought that we would get 3. I wanted us to be up there. I did say before the game, we need to score 3 goals tonight. We need to win by 3 goals because Aston Villa were sitting second. Aston Villa were sitting second in the Champions League last night and this morning. Aston Villa were sitting second, and I thought if we can score 3 goals so that we're in and around the mix of the Champions League, never thinking further forward, but just thinking about the long term, if we're in the mix at the beginning, you could be near enough in the mix when it comes to the end of this section of the Champions League. The fact that tonight we are sitting on 1 match played, 1 match won, 5 goals, 4 goals for, 1 against, and 3 points puts us second in the Champions League. There's going to be some score lines tomorrow in the Champions League to knock us off that second position, because let's face it, I thought if we could finish, I'll be honest, if we could have been 6th, 7th or 8th tonight, I would have been over the moon. But when you look at the league, Bayern are first, Celtic are second, Aston Villa are third, Dortmund are fourth, Sparta Prague are 5th, Liverpool are 6th, Juventus are 7th, Real Madrid are 8th in the Champions League, having only scored and won the game 2-1. Sporting are then sitting in 9th, PSG are 10th, Inter are 11th, Man City are 12th, Bologna are 13th, Shakhtar Donetsk are 14th, Arsenal, and then it gets to the teams that haven't played yet in the Champions League. And when you look at the bottom, from 27th place down, this is the teams that have been absolutely pummeled so far. Sturm Graz, Girona, PSV, Stuttgart, Milan, Lille, Club Brugge, Salzburg, Young Boys, Slovan Bratislava are second bottom of the Champions League. We've made sure that they are second bottom of the Champions League. And then there's Dynamo Zagreb, who are bottom of the Champions League. There's some big names in there down at the bottom, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is tonight that every Celtic fan can go to their bed and lie there and go, we dreamed, we dared to dream, we dared to think the impossible, and we are currently second place in the Champions League. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. I don't care about, what anybody else says. The fact, how did Sevco get on tonight? 5 different goal scorers was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was sharing the love around the team. I honestly felt sorry for Callum McGregor. I thought Callum Mack, he was one that was going to do it for the midfield, but he never did. James says it was the composure off the ball, even under pressure. Kyogo's movement creates so much for midfield and runs and everything. Schmeichel was raging, he lost the goal. And it was worthy. You've got hats off, bro. That goal. It comes, when you look at it in slow motion, it comes just off the tip of Cameron Carter-Vickers' head. And to get it over Carter-Vickers' head, and then to get it curving round into that corner, you've got it. It was a world-class goal. It was a Champions League level goal. And we're not going to knock it. If anything, could you imagine the scoreline if Kyogo is on fire? We were sitting in the pub talking about it. If Lee Griffiths has those chances that Kyogo had tonight, Lee Griffiths is taking those chances. As many strikers that's been at Celtic that would have screamed and shouted to get those chances that Kyogo had. It would have been an absolute bucket load of goals if Kyogo had managed to take his chances. He is slightly off the boil, but his all-round play is absolutely fantastic. You cannot knock what he brings to the team. The fact that he ran out of position, he moved position for Dyson's goal, that all comes through the training pitch. That comes through the training pitch. The fact that he created the space for Dyson to run in and get that header, the free header, that's fucking fantastic. You're not going to knock Kyogo for that. His finishing isn't up to what Kyogo would expect, but His all-round play is still absolutely what we need at Celtic. And then you've got to think about Adam Idah. Adam Idah's sitting going, I could have scored that. I could have scored that. I could have. Am I getting on, boss? Am I getting on, boss? Am I getting on, boss? Right, I'm getting on. Boom, bang, goal. Fucking brilliant. Jamesy Forrest comes on as a sub. Gets it right through to Adam Idah, and Adam Idah doesn't even take his head off it. He just looks and goes bang. Doesn't even take one touch, right into the back of the net. Absolutely fantastic by Celtic. Joe Hart sitting in the background going, there's my boys. There's my boys. Hugo should have had 4, but he still played well. It says, who really cares? Yep. John N says it's bang on. Mr. Quint says, for fuck's sake, I would have been double figures, but we can't complain. We can't complain. When you look at the bench that we had, at least the second, I need to calm down. In the last second, you need to calm down. Yep. Griff wouldn't have been in those positions to have those chances in the Champions League level. I don't know. Like, I'm not too sure. I think Griff would have. Remember the season that Griff scored 50 goals? He was in that position a lot of the times for the goals that he scored, the 50 goals. Anyway, Zedhead says, Eddie Kelly, someone give him the ball past the game. Dyson missed 2 great chances. Yes, he did. Think about the chances. Missed out on £110 for a 6-bet builder. Jesus. Nico Coon for a goal at any time and my assist. Absolutely. Alistair Johnston. I said it before the game. I said it in the live before the game. This is the level that Alistair Johnston expects to be playing at. This is the level that Alistair Johnston knows he can play at and knows he can flourish. I thought he was unlucky to get the booking, but he didn't bother him, did it? It didn't bother him during the whole game. After that, he still went about his business. Alistair Johnston, what can you say about him? He doesn't look anything, but he's got a bit of fight about him. He's got and he loves being at Celtic. He absolutely loves it. He's a player that's going to be around here. Griff scored 40, not 50. Who cares, Davy Stewart? It was a long time ago, and I'm that much over the moon. I could walk on water. In fact, the missus just went fucking, oh Jesus, and I thought, yep, just hand me the wine and water and I'll turn it into wine. Anyway, Griff was an awesome player. Yep, it was 40 goals. Okay, hands up, it was 40 goals. Alistair Johnson was on a mission tonight. Barry Craig says, great result tonight. Absolutely great result. There's been over 1,531 people. We've not even thought about doing a poll tonight. There's no need to do a poll tonight. I think that when you look back on the way that the team played, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I've never seen Celtic in the Champions League being so calm. And I think that's one of the important things. When we sit down and we relax and we get the emotions away from it, right? When we get the emotions away from it, when you look at the way that Brendan Rodgers had that team playing tonight, the way the way that we were set up. Remember, they were set up in not a defensive manner at all. I spoke about it before the game. They were set up with a back four, 2 in front of the defence, and then a 3, and then a 1 up front. They were playing a diamond shape in midfield, and I thought that could go to a 5 in midfield. Maybe they're going to try and smother Celtic in midfield. They never even got anywhere near us in midfield. It was absolutely brilliant. Buzz more than Chris Boyd's hair replacement after his doctor's medical was booked. Oh man, that was absolutely amazing. You cannot knock any players. Brendan Rodgers and the team will sit down and they'll talk to players about certain things that happen through the game, which they rightly will do so because they want the players to be the best that they can. There was players that were at 100% tonight. There was players that was at 110%, but there were some players that were just under that 100%, and they will nitpick on certain things throughout the game. You can sit and say the stupid kick from Greg Taylor, which created the goal. You know, what was he thinking of trying to volley it? Just fucking batter up the pitch. Instead, they tried to volley it out there. It was one of those things. And then they get the goal. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Celtic were on a roll, and there was absolutely no stopping Celtic tonight. Tonight we earned $3 million from winning a game. Plenty more money. It's only $1.8 million, is it not, for winning the game? Let's not even speak about the money yet, because let's just enjoy tonight. Bruni said this was the best night at Parkhead. Bruni's right. Bruni was asked the question on telly after the game, is this the best Celtic performance in Europe for a long time? And it was. You can think back to when we beat Barcelona. We were under the cosh for Barcelona that night. I think it was about 80% possession for Barcelona. And when Celtic went up on the break, and Tony Watt scores that goal, we were there and we all went absolutely mental. But when you look at the performance tonight, the performance, the ease of the performance, the control of the performance, you know, the closing down, not giving them a chance. I said that Brendan Rodgers had been doing this. People didn't believe me. When you look at the way that we've been doing it in the Premier League, the way that we did it against Manchester City during pre-season, the way that we did it against Chelsea, this is what Brendan Rodgers has been building the team for. The most important games of the season are at the front half of the season for Celtic, and Brendan Rodgers has got us ticking all the boxes. Brendan Rodgers will go home with a massive smile on his face tonight, and yes, as a manager, he'll probably say, we could have done a bit better, but managers always do that. You know, for Celtic to be sitting second, let's just go over this again. Celtic tonight, as a unit, it was domination. Celtic are sitting second in the Champions League. I don't care if it's Bratislava's first foray into the Champions League. I don't care. Their entire squad cost 3 million. Their entire squad were about 6'11". I don't care. I don't care what the price of their squad was. As many times that Celtic... Michael Ross, you know better than anybody that Celtic have came crashing out of the Champions League to lesser teams over the years. To lesser teams. Over the last 10 years, Celtic have crashed out at the early stages, the qualifying stages, to lesser teams than Bratislava. Let's face it. And nothing to do with the cost, sort of do how good they were. But it doesn't matter. I don't care about the other team. Tonight was all about Celtic. And tonight, Celtic sits second place in the Champions League. Go on to Google and type in Champions League. I'll put it up in the morning. I've already put it up in the community tab. Bayern are sitting first with a goal difference of 7. Celtic are sitting with a goal difference of 4. Let me see how many games tomorrow where they can score more than 4 goals. They have to win at least 5-0 tomorrow, remember. Teams will have to win 5-0 tomorrow to go above Celtic in the Champions League after game day 1. The meltdowns would be unbelievable around the world, seeing the fact that Celtic are sitting so high. Celtic, that Dortmund, you've got to remember that Dortmund have said that Celtic, it's points in the bag. Well, Dortmund, where are you this evening? Dortmund are sitting in 4th position. Celtic are sitting 2 points above them. Celtic do play Aston Villa and Dortmund. It's going to be fantastic games against those two, because let's face it, it's a fight for the top of the table now. I mean, we can dare to dream. Can Celtic finish more and higher? Can Celtic finish top? Let's be realistic. Let's just calm down a bit. Can we finish top 16? Yes. Can we finish top 10? Well, that'll be something else if that happens. It's just absolutely brilliant. Let's jump into the comment section and see what people are saying in the comment section. Can only play who's there. Yes, you can only play. Brendan McTrust says Paul. Sinisalo, Valley, Trusty, Norowski, Ralston, Ohm, Bernardo, McCowan, Palmer, Yang, and Ida. That was on the bench tonight. We wanted the boys to deliver tonight, and by God did they. Let's sleep well, guys. The team did well. Victor, you are getting the final comment of this evening, because I am done. I need to go and try and calm down. Scales is becoming our best defender. The fact that that Trusty can't get onto the pitch, the fact that there's so many players can't get on the pitch, it's just absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. What an evening, says Pam. John Millen says Engels. Lanky says Paradise. I'm always one step ahead of others, maybe 2 steps ahead. Says Lanky. Chat's been class tonight, says Desmond Donnelly. There's been over 1,858 people on the live. Big thank you to everyone who's been on the live this evening. Up the Celts, no, stay on, Baz, says Desmond Donnelly. There's 500 folks still on. Alright, I'll stay on. Oh, I haven't even got a drink anymore. Press the party up, boys. Press the party up. Jesus. Stephen Jones, right, okay, then we'll stay on. Night, I'm up at 5:30, says Paul. And Scales We Trust. Yes, and Scales We Trust. Listen, I was the one that shouted last season that Scales would be our most improved player last season. I said right at the, and you've all got this on video, I said right at the start of last season that Liam Scales would be our most improved player, and come the end of the season, it would be our defender with Cameron Carter-Vickers. So folks saying that I'm giving Scales a hard time, it's not it's not the case. I think we all know that Scales does have little moments of lapse of concentration, but he seems to have got that out of his system. And the fact that he's keeping Trusty off the team is even better. Don't need a drink, I'm high on life, says your ma. Love Scales, says Carly. Desmond Donnelly, we are loving your chat, Baz. Pam says you don't need a drink when you've got experience of this level of euphoria. This is true, Pam. This is very, very true. I've got a drink, Baz, says Dave Hislop. Good for you, Lanky. We've won one game. Don't get too excited. We played Bratislava, not Real Madrid. Big difference. Lanky, I don't care. The table doesn't lie. The table does not lie. As it stands tonight, Celtic are sitting second in the league. I don't care what happens after this. Seeing Celtic second in the Champions League after game day 1 is absolutely fantastic. Teams are going to have to win tomorrow night by a clear 5 goals. Think about that for a second. A clear 5 goals. There's not been many 5 scorelines around around the Champions League, is there? I mean, we look at the scorelines this evening. 3-1 yesterday even, right? I mean, if you look at the Bayern game, they won 9-2 against Dynamo Zagreb. Villa won 3-0. Liverpool beat Milan 3-1. Sparta Praha won 3-0 against Salzburg. Dortmund against Bruges 3-0. Manchester City against Inter 0-0. You know, Celtic 5-1. PSG against Girona 1-0. Bologna against Shakhtar Donetsk 0-0. Sporting versus Lille 2-0. Real Madrid 3-1. Juventus 3-1. Let's give Celtic a bit of credit for actually doing something in the Champions League and putting us in a position where, let's face it, no one thought Celtic would be in this position. No one thought Celtic would be in this position. Don't care that Barcelona play Monaco tomorrow, Arsenal play Atalanta tomorrow, Sturm Graz play Brest tomorrow, Atletico Madrid play RB Leipzig tomorrow. There's a lot of good games to come, but will they have a 5 scoreline? Will they have to win 5-0 to get above Celtic? And that's all that matters. That is all that matters. Going into the end of game day 1, that is really all that matters. You can go into the table on any platform and Celtic are sitting there second. Listen, I bet Aston Villa fans last night were absolutely buzzing and over the moon that they were sitting second in the Champions League. Celtic fans should be doing the exact same tonight. That's all that I care about, and that's all that matters. We are second in the Champions League as it stands tonight. And Irish Maldini, 5-1 in the Champions League against anyone is a fantastic achievement, especially with Celtics. Everyone's been talking about it this week. Everyone's been talking about it. Celtic never win their first game in the Champions League. They've never won it in fucking as many attempts. Celtic they've only won 2 games out of 18 under Brendan Rodgers in the Champions League. Negative. Callum McGregor said it's a clean slate. This group of players weren't here in the past. They weren't here under Brendan Rodgers in the past. It's a new format. Let's go into the new format. No one has played this format before. It's a league format. We need to score as many goals as we can in as many games as we can. And it's... I don't care. That's fucking brilliant. I'm over the moon. I'm done and dusted. I've been on for 33 minutes. Zhead, £200... 200k per goal in the Champions League. There you go. Big Joe Hart, bleeding Celtic now on the BBC. Is that Dortmund? We are coming. here coming. Michael says, tighten up at the back, and we can counter. We have the tools to do it away. Yes, we can. Tough games to come. However, I can foresee a major shock away win. I did say we need 3 home wins and a minimum of 1 away win in this Champions League. That would give us 12 points. Is it realistic? But I can hear you over him, Baz. There's no payout for goals scored. I think there is, actually. But anyway, Celtic gets something like 1.8 million for winning that game tonight. Anyway, on that note, Derek Smith gets the last one. 4 points in the next 3 games. Would expect more. I'd expect a lot more than that. Big up all the members. Yes, big up all the members. John Milne, Desmond Donnelly. Who really cares? Carly. And who else is on? Mr. Quinn is on. And John Milne. Dave Hislop. Desmond Donnelly. John Milne. And that's about it that I can see. Anyway, I'm going before my throat is done. I'll be doing a live at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, we will be doing a live at 9 a.m. We're sitting on 18,921 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, do. It's free. And we're trying to get to 20,000 before the end of the Champions League campaign. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic night, Celtic fans all around the world.